The year 2019 was quite an active year for earthquakes in the Eastern Caribbean. In the last few days of December, the sub-region was rocked by over 5 earthquakes in 1 week. On Christmas Day, Antigua, St. Kitts and Nevis, and Montserrat shook briefly from a 4.2 magnitude earthquake. Over the years, every area of the Eastern Caribbean has been affected by multiple earthquakes that have ranged in magnitude from 3.5 to about 4.9 on the Richter scale. According to the University of the West Indies Seismic Research Center, earthquakes in the area of the Caribbean are not new, but have been occurring for centuries. During the 19th and 20th centuries, records indicate light to high magnitude earthquakes. In 1974, for example, St. Kitts Nevis and Antigua were rocked by a severe 7.4 magnitude earthquake that resulted in significant damage to buildings. In St. Kitts, for instance, bell towers on some churches collapsed, cracks developed in many buildings, and the historic building that is now the National Museum was not occupied for several months until repairs and strengthening of the building were completed. The fact is that the islands of the Eastern Caribbean are now more vulnerable to the effects of strong earthquakes. While building codes have improved, the sheer numbers of buildings and populations increase create greater vulnerability, especially for areas built up on reclaimed lands. In fact, the UWI Seismic Research Center points out that, quote, the current situation on every island is such that most buildings are made of masonry or concrete, and there are numerous high-rise buildings, of which a high proportion are built in areas which were under the sea less than a century ago, that is, reclaimed land, unquote. In recent years, the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has been carrying out public information activities that include earthquakes as an important natural hazard for St. Kitts and Nevis. Officials from the Seismic Center have previously alerted nations of the Eastern Caribbean that they are actually overdue for a severe earthquake. Perhaps the best thing that we can do is to listen and act upon the advice and information contained in public service announcements and campaigns that are implemented by NEMA every year. Glenn Barth for SKN Newsline.